Okay. Okay. Hey, y'all, the other conversations need to stop completely. I don't need you getting quieter about it. They just need to stop. Okay. So back on that, we're trying to find the variable that's the easiest to solve for, which is the y in the first equation. And then to get it by itself, I start out by subtracting 2x from both sides. Yes? Yes, before we do the quiz, actually, I think Thursday's plan is we're going to divide y'all into probably 4 teams, and we're going to put 4 different spots around the room, and y'all are going to kind of race through them.
I'm feeling it.
Probably, but we'll see how things go. Okay, so back to this. Y equals 3 minus 2x. Okay, hey, y'all, there's still a lot of conversation going on. And I'm guessing you don't want to lose your agency points, whether you care about it or not. I can actually pull it up on the computer and show you.
Oh, so next we plug the Y in after you know, I'm just trying to work the process.
Do what now?
I'm just trying to work the process.
Okay.
Sit down.
Okay, you should be looking this direction. You shouldn't be looking at other people in the classroom. Because if you're staring at them, that means you're focused on them. It means you are not getting your focus in the right direction. And you're also disturbing other people at that point. Alright, so now that I know what y is equal to, it's 3x minus 2. Sorry, 3 minus 2x. I'm going to plug that in for y in that equation I didn't solve. So since the second equation is the one I didn't touch, that's what I'm going to replace the y in.
So, okay.
So I'm going to rewrite that second equation now as 3x minus 2 times, instead of y, I'm putting what y is equal to, 3 minus 2x.
Wait. So we're going to distribute.
Equals 8. Yes, we will be distributing. Alright, so to get the x by itself now, we need to distribute.
Also distribute a 2 or a negative 2?
I distribute the negative 2. That you do how you want to do that, but I distribute the negative. So negative 2 times 3 is a negative 6, or minus 6. Negative 2 times a minus 2x is a positive 4x.
Wait, Paul. Oh, okay.
So I brought down the 3x in the front and the 8 at the end. Combine your like terms. 3x plus 4x is 7x. Okay, and then at this point, you're now down to a 2-step equation.
So
you're going to get rid of that minus 6 by adding it, and then you're going to divide by 7. You're going to get rid of this minus 6 by adding it to the other side, and then I'll divide by that 7 out in the front. So add 6, add 6. 7x equals 14. And then you divide both sides by 7, so what does x equal?
7.
2.
Got you. Let me stop playing.
Hey, Eric, go close up the computer, please.
No.
Alright. So, yeah. Remember when you're solving the system of equations, you're looking for a point, so you're looking for an x and a y. Okay? And so what I'm going to do is take the x equals 2, I'm going to plug that back in to where I had already solved for y. So I'm going to plug in that 2 there. Okay. So y equals 3 minus 2 times 2.
Oh, so do we multiply first or do we subtract first? Where's the requirement?
Order of operations would always say multiply first.
But some people say start from the left.
Not with their multiplication.
Well,
Correct?
they say if it's
Alright, so y equals 3 minus 4, which means y equals negative 1.
I don't know what 2 times 2 is.
And then I can't help you.
You got me.
Alright, so my solution is the point 2 negative 1. Okay. So that's the process. So what you're doing, your steps through the process. First step, solve for one of the variables in whichever equation you want to. Then from there, you just start plugging stuff back in until you find both of the values that you need. All right. Questions?
No, you can.
All right. So here is our next one. Alright, so here's our next system. We jumped up to 3 equations this time. There was one of these on your pretest.
Did we write that one down?
Yeah, we're gonna work through this one pretty quick.
Can somebody go up there?
Take pretty quick.
Oh, yeah.
Sure, you want to teach us through that one?
Oh, no, I'm not asking. I don't want to do it. I asked. Can somebody else do it?
Can I try it?
They'll make the process, but definitely gonna do it.
Can you talk about 3? Or I may repeat what you say. Or... Okay. Hey. All right. So this we got 3 equations with 3 variables we got to figure out. Okay.
Okay, first I'm going to solve for the easiest term by dividing 4 to the equals 2.
All right. So that third equation is definitely the easiest variable to solve for because there's no other variable in there, so I can go ahead and get that value of z.
2 equals 2.
That's a z. This is a little bit different setup than the one we had done. What I would do now is I would replace the z in both equations. So in the first 2 equations, you're going to replace z with 2, and then you just have 2 values, 2 unknowns that we're dealing with.
Oh.
So now we're dealing with 2 equations. All we're going to worry about at this point is trying to solve for one of the variables in one of the equations. So it doesn't matter which one. It looks like your second equation is going to be the easiest, and it doesn't matter which variable you solve for. Just get the other one by itself. So she started out by subtracting the 2 from both sides. So that's x plus y equals 3. And then she subtracted the x, so it's y equals 3 minus x. Okay, hey, back away for a second so we can all see. Okay, on this, right here, she's going to solve for y in that second equation here. So she subtracted the 2 from both sides, so x plus y equals 3. X plus y equals 3. And then she subtracted the x from both of these sides to get y by itself. So y equals 3 minus x.
So she. Oh, you're working. Which one did you subtract?
In this first equation up here at the top,
Can you move it?
oh, back away again for a second. That's fine. Oh, and if you stand right there, then Nicholas can't see. That's why you see me go stand by the door like so many times. I'm like trying to get back or over here and almost sit down.
Yeah.
All right. So once you have found out what y is equal to in this problem, which is 3 minus x, and you're going to go back to that second equation, and you're going to plug in the value, the 3 minus x, in for the y.
Wait, where's it? Because some people don't understand.
I'm not saying like you had it out more than once a day, but if I see it out, I automatically take it. Okay, so plug the 3 minus x in where the y was in that second equation. Then we distributed the negative 3. Negative 3 times 3 is a minus 9. Negative 3 times the negative x is a positive 3x. Okay, that works. Now we're going to solve for x. Okay, so combined like terms, 2x plus 3x is 5x. Negative 9 plus 2 was negative 7. So that's this part right here. 5x minus 7 came from just combining like terms. 2x and 3x is 5x. Negative 9 and positive 2 is negative 7. And then you got a two-step equation. Add your 7 to both sides. 5x equals 5. And then divide by the 5. X equals 1.
You lost me way back in.
Where at?
Okay, can you write something?
What is that?
Where? Hey, Maddie, where'd you get lost at?
When we were back at y, x was y plus 2 plus 5 minus
So
2.
so right here. Okay.
I got that for the next part. It was like x plus y 3 minus x.
Open C erased it. Okay.
That's okay.
All right. Hey, I'm gonna extend the page and work the rest of that under it, and then I'll come back up.
Okay.
You finna work?
Well, I'm gonna kind of make sure we see the steps that she erased, and then we're gonna go back through and talk through it. The work is correct. Okay, y'all, the work is correct. So let's just make sure we're all kind of in that same boat, talking through it again. Okay. So what we ended up doing is once she found z was 2, we replaced the z in both equations with the 2. Okay, that way we're down to just 2 variables and 2 equations that we got to deal with. Okay, so she decided to solve for the y in this equation, and to do that, she started out by moving the 2 to the other side by subtracting. So you ended up with x plus y equals 3. Okay.
Got that.
All right. Now, the next step was to, she subtracted the x from both sides, so she solved for y. And the way she did it, she put the minus x there, and then she put the other minus x out to the side.
Okay.
And that's where I kind of got confused initially, because I thought she already moved the x, and then I saw you subtract the x again. I was like, but it worked out. Okay, does that make sense a little bit
So
better?
then now it's y equals 3 minus x.
Y equals 3 minus x. Yep.
And then.
All right.
Okay.
Alright, so once she got the y equals 3 minus x, that's where she went back up to this equation and plugged in the 3 minus x for the y. So it's 2x minus 3, parentheses 3 minus x, plus 2 equals negative 2, which is what she has up here. So that top line is that equation with the y replaced with 3 minus x. Has it eaten cold already? Okay. Yeah, put it down to where it's just a little bit. I'm like, it's just stuffy. Yeah, and we may have to shut it all the way, but let's see if I can. Like, there's no heat or air on here, and it's already like over 70. But that's just me. Okay. So once we plugged in the 3 minus x, then what she did here was distribute, and that's where the minus 9 plus 3x came from. And I'm just talking through the steps she did here. Okay. Once she got the minus 9 and plus 3x, then she combined like terms. 2x and 3x was 5x. Negative 9 and positive 2 is negative 7. Okay. And then add 7 divided by 5, you got x equals 1. So what's my solution in this problem? Oh, we got to get y.
Oh, man.
It didn't quite finish, but it's real simple because I just got to plug the 1 in for x here. So y equals 3 minus 1, which is 2. Okay, so my solution is 1, 2, 2. Because it's always in alphabetical order. Okay, it's x, y, z. And so make sure you put those, when you do these kinds of problems, in alphabetical order. Okay. All right, questions? So, start out, find the easiest variable to solve for and solve for. Then start plugging stuff back in until you found all the values of all the variables. So, questions? Alright, so here's what I want you to do. You pull up the agenda. It has okay. Hey y'all, here's what it says. Your assignment is problems 25 through 46 that are on this page. Hey. Okay, so there's assigning quite a few. Here's what we will adjust a little bit on. You must complete problems 31, I know, 33, and 42. Okay, here's what you got. There are 3 problems that you have to complete. If you have a game tonight, you've got 10 minutes right now that you can complete those 3 problems in. Okay? So if those 3 problems you're completely understanding, then there's no reason for you to continue working. If those 3 problems you need a little bit more work, then you need to get to work on the rest of them. The rest of them, listen, those 3 problems you need to have done before you come to class tomorrow. The rest of the problems, if you're not quite there yet, won't be due until the following day. Okay? So the 31, 33, and 42 are due tomorrow.
31, 31.
31, 33, and 42 are due tomorrow. The rest of those are due on, Thursday.
Do they say it on the agenda somewhere so I can remember that?
Yep. It'll be under homework. I'm about to save it. This part's not there yet. I'm about to put it on there. What just happened?
Well, you don't know nothing about it. I'm in the deal. And Justin
Okay, so on the agenda under homework, it has what I just said on there. Yep. Do what? Some will be and some will be like building is be where I get a lot of the communication from. Great, and it'll also be when I have that certain plan.
Which one is the PAPA2?
So y'all, if you can't find the problems, they're on today's agenda. Okay? You need to get on there and actually work through them. If you don't have your computer working, then you need to write down 31, 33, and 42 there.